This pie came on its side. So we'll see. I'm going to need to cut this with the scissors. This is a hair cutting scissors. Charles Toe lets me use it. Jerry, Geri, asked me if I wanted to keep the scissors. I think she thinks I threatened her that the scissors was dangerous to herself. And that's her not understanding that she's not my landlord. And she did something irresponsible as a landlord. She let somebody live with somebody else, and they don't want to be together. They don't want to see each other or live together or know anything about each other. And it's not paid for with banking to separate. It's true that the banking was joined by Social Security Administration because they determined they were going to do that. And I am not working for Social Security Administration. I don't have keys that way. This one slice on the cover here of the box, on the box itself, it looks as big as this whole pie. It's enlarged too much. It says enlarged to show quality. Well, that's the quality of this slice right here. But this pie came on its side, and this is the quality of the pie. It has some of the topping right here. I don't know why. I'm going to use this as a plate. But then I can't put it over the pie. All right, I'll go get something to serve the pie on. I'm going to serve the pie in this bowl. And that's because I don't have a plate that I would use. This is the bowl that I let myself use because all the everything in this room belongs to Charles Toe, and I realize he may not be coming back here, but it's still his stuff. And the landlord didn't provide me with something else because the landlord wants me to provide the landlord with it. I'm going to solve its problems for itself. And that's not what a landlord is. A landlord is when you have your own problem and prejudice, and it knows you and you know itself, and you don't have to struggle over who's in control of who. Okay, I'm lifting this up with a knife. I don't have what it takes to serve the pie with something that serves pie. So that's again Jerry's fault that I don't have a house. That's because you don't know. If you don't have something, that doesn't mean you don't owe it. If you don't have it, that means you're far in the wrong and you have to go to jail and prison because you don't have something you owe somebody else. You can't just say, I don't have it, well, and you go back into human trafficking. If you don't have something you owe somebody else, you go to prison for that. You have to go in by yourself. You have to get yourself into a prison. You have to do all that it takes. If you can do crime, you can go to prison. If you don't know how to go to prison after you've done crime, or you don't understand the crime you did, and you don't know how to get into prison, that's homeless. And when you're homeless, you are to be caught for trespassing and go to prison. The police are right that they're not supposed to find homeless people living outside homeless, but the police are due to find a homeless person and go to prison with the homeless person, because you are one. You're a police officer who found a homeless person, you are one. Yeah. You go to prison together. You have prejudice. You can't just dismiss prejudice with itself. So this is the pie covered again. And I can put it back in this box. that it came in so that I know what it is. But it's true that the box is breached at this time. So do we put this back in the fridge? I'm going to need it to throw away the pie container, so I'm going to save it until it's done. Okay, now I need a fork. I have a fork I can use, which is a disposable fork that's handy right now. I didn't get a fork from the same place I got this knife. This knife is from, I think, the Olive Garden, and I think I used the fork already for the Olive Garden takeout food, and I didn't use the knife. So I can use the knife this way, but the fork has been disposed of. So what do I use to eat with? Because whoever didn't give me a new house with everything furnished in there, because they just didn't owe it to themselves. They didn't want to do that with themselves or go to prison. I need the witness that they're in prison. You have to be a witness with yourself. Just like when you're a witness that you're doing crime on somebody else and then you forget about it and you don't care, but you know that God recorded it, that you did a crime on somebody. You have to go to prison with that you did a crime on somebody. You can't just be a witness. I did a crime on you. I am God and you're not. That is a blasphemy not due to myself. That's a blasphemy that would be in prison and you would have guns on the threatening and you would know who died because you made the threat. That's what the threat is for, so that you get a death. The threat is not to enforce a blasphemy mind on somebody else and that it goes lower and lower and lower in consumption. They actually eat it and they think about it and it's a disaster. I feel that way about the sexual abuse to myself. Nobody died. Why did we even do it? So that I would worship somebody who's beneath God, somebody who didn't put themselves in prison and jail and prison, and they didn't have me inside of a jail and a prison when they disagreed with me, and I didn't know them another way. Well, I don't have a life with somebody who sexually abused myself because we were alive together. I've been sexually abused by strangers who just want to they want what? The worst case scenario for myself? Who are you? And I have to say that because I don't have a fork and a knife that's proper for this pie. I just have a spare knife that I just used. This is a spoon. I can eat the pie with the spoon. And it looks like that. It wasn't properly served with serving utensils. So serving utensils, something that would serve the pie flat from the bottom and pick it up, the slice, so that it would set down on a plate like this. And it would be a plate that I would use. I just can't substitute with that. People owe me what I need. For myself, they owe it to me now. And this is what it looks like. I'm God deceased, and I'm going to eat this pie because it tastes good. But it's not presented the way I mean, you wouldn't serve it in a restaurant like this. You would never serve this to a paying customer at Marie Callender's like this. But I'm going to eat it myself because it's better than nothing. And I don't need to go out to Marie Callender's because I own myself. Well, that's what I think about you being shunt in my world. I think you make a mess out of the creation of my world.